Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Weekend Forecast for the weekend of March 2nd and 3rd, 2013. I am astrologer David Palmer, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, this is such a powerful weekend, wonderful weekend. I look at this as a little bit of a breather. This has been an intense week of really understanding what the hell is going on in our lives, finding the direction. There's been a lot of spiritual energy, a lot of signs, a lot of us having to intuitively just come into this belief of, yes, Spirit's taking me in the right place, but, you know, battling the mind. It was a healing week with all the Chiron energy, and here we are on the weekend, going deep into some heavy emotions with the moon in Scorpio, conjuncting Saturn on Saturday. So this Saturday energy is more of the Saturn day. I mean, it's been lining up like this for a while, where it's time to take a serious look at our emotions and really take a gut check and make sure, has Spirit been aligning you to get your true desires? I guarantee you it has. I'm sure that you can become clear of so many frustrations in your life, of what the barriers or the obstacles or the challenges that you want to get over. But it's about becoming clear. Are there obstacles deep in your own spiritual self? You know, we talked a lot about how can you vibrate on your highest vibration in your life. I guarantee you there is some implementation you can do into your lifestyle to emotionally become more clear. You know, find out some deep emotions, if there's some suppressing that has been going on, some releasing that must be done. And this gives us the excellent key to come into understanding of our soul. That's because Mercury is going to start conjuncting the Sun throughout this weekend, which is making a perfect trine over to the Moon on Saturday. And because it's conjunct Saturn, and because we just went through this powerful week in Pisces, this is a very clear indication that the weekend gives us the biggest opportunity ever to really understand what is wrong in our lives, what we can do to overcome it, having the positive outlook and the understanding of the obstacles we got to come over, to make sure that we understand that we must vibrate high spiritually, that we must let our mind start to understand and really process the positivity, the optimism, the best outlook for us. Yes, there's been a lot of information to gather, but it's about us just flowing, right? Going with the flow and actually trusting in Spirit. It's the trust, it's the intimacy, it's the boundary energy that we are really tapping into the weekend to make sure that our boundaries are protecting us in the right way, to make sure that we are connecting with what we truly desire. Maybe there are some things that are coming in between that, what we need to figure out how we can find resources to get this great stuff in our life. Or we might need to cut things off. One thing about Scorpio and Saturn here is Saturn has no problem cutting things off. But remember, this is a retrograde Saturn. So it's going to take a little bit of extra oomph. It's going to take a little bit more of the clear understanding that Mercury and the Sun give you throughout the weekend to really just have to learn to trust your gut, to learn to trust your intuition on what it is that you need to cut away from, what it is that you need to, you know, try and connect to more in your life. Now, very interesting, because the moon comes still into Scorpio and it leaves Scorpio into Sagittarius late Sunday night. And I think that's interesting because we are ready for this moon to make a hard square to all 5 planets in Pisces. And that's why you got to use this weekend right, because we're going to get ready to really have a lot of our emotional, you know, belief structures tested, thinking that we know what's going on when really Spirit's pulling us away from beliefs. And a real big test if you can let Spirit really take you on the boat. The other big thing is Venus. Venus getting ready to make a big square with Jupiter over the weekend and into Monday. And this can be a little bit of over-optimism in partnerships. Yes, we just had a very big spiritual understanding of them, but we must not let our minds not come into the equation a little bit. Yes, I've been talking a lot about how, you know, we are going with Spirit, we are going with the flow, but this is the interesting part where Spirit is also teaching us how to use the mind in the right way. And when it comes to partnerships, let's make sure that we have a reality check as far as taking clear of the facts of maybe partnerships that you've just got in or so forth, and making sure that you're watching of exactly how you enter into these partnerships, how you respond to these partnerships, not going too far and also not going too little. It's finding the perfect balance, the perfect spiritual energy, and how you also can't let your mind get in between the flow. So it's very interesting. Yes, go with the flow, but yes, make sure your mind's on the right team when it comes to these relationships, when it comes to your values. This is also the energy where you can eat 15 pounds of chocolate this weekend and it's just like, oh God, I feel horrible. Or you could drink way too many beers, or you could end up, you know, on the floor of some house, like, you know, doing a bunch of drugs. You're like, what the hell's going on here? So Be wise, use your mind, observe the facts, but what does Spirit say? Look for the signs. So this is the signs where it's like, I just watched a commercial about diet and how you shouldn't eat chocolate as you're sitting there eating the chocolate. Or, you know, you are looking at old pictures of how horrible you felt when you partied that night, late night, because you were at that rave. Typical nights like me, like, I can't believe I did that. And then there it is, a phone call offering it to you. It's like, well, what does the sign say about this? Relationships, big time. You know, this can be really where the facts are showing you in your life. You know, your mind's really trying to show you that this is what you're doing in your life, this is where you're going, this is, you know, the facts that you really have. And then Spirit, you know, is telling you, you know, bringing you these partnerships. And it's like, how do you weigh these two out? You really are going to have to learn to follow the signs. Listen to the facts in your mind and make your own decision, right? Set your own boundaries. That's the whole point. That's why the moon's here. That's why Saturn's here. It's about making tough decisions and what you truly want to connect with, and whether your mind and spirit come together and show you the facts. It can be also a test to show, do you have the deep, real courage to make these moves? The other thing is Uranus and Jupiter making the closest connection they're going to make until, you know, I'm going to be honest, Jupiter's going to 8 degrees this weekend, going to pass away from Uranus, so we're not going to see this great alignment of Uranus and Jupiter for a long time. They're actually going to make some squares this summer. So we truly at this point in this weekend really understand who we want to be, the courage that it's going to take to be this person. It's whether or not you have the cojones or the ovaries to draw the boundaries in your life to how you can get what it is you feel you want and what are the resources you need. It's going to take courage in yourself. It's going to take emotional understanding that there's no BS. It's also going to take understanding the flow, understanding your mind, putting these together, following the signs, also following your mind, and finding a way to not go too far on each end. It really is a tinker, like, you know, energy. It's a lot like Jenga. You know, you got to Jenga your life right now in the right kind of ways, with partnerships, with your values, and the Jenga energy can work so well because it learns to know the boundaries you want to draw, the emotions you want to connect with on the deepest level. So I hope that helps. And remember, get ready for Sunday night. It might be a little bit weird because the moon's going to come in and square Venus, square Neptune. It can feel a little bit emotionally like, you know, my gut's doing this, but my belief is always this. Remember, let your beliefs not pull you away emotionally from what Spirit's telling you, and especially what the facts are around in your life. So pay attention to that late Sunday night, and I will see you guys on Monday. So check out my website if you want a reading, 15, 30, 60, 90-minute readings, or you can do my astro coaching all at david-palmer.com, and I can't wait to see you guys on Monday for a lot of crap going down.